I decided to give this lecture because I wrote my first ever ebook, so very exciting, my first ever book of any kind, in fact. I started writing my first big book. I wanted to write this book about my learnings throughout my 24-year career of working within aesthetic dentistry, and it was giving me brain ache trying to write this book because I think I was overthinking it, and I think a lot of what we do in life these days, well, a lot of what I do in life every day are things that I've been doing for many, many years over and over again. And suddenly writing this book made me use my brain in a different way. And so I'd like sit and I'd think and I'd be like, is that really portraying what my views are? Is that how I want to do this? And so it's been a really interesting project for me, something that I thought I would get through very quickly. I told my PR company I'll have the book ready in July, start getting the launch ready, get those book signings, and now July is not that far away, and I'm believing that perhaps the book won't be ready, and that's okay as well because this book's going to be epic, and so I'm okay waiting for it. However, in the meantime, I thought I'll start with a smaller project and get myself used to writing, and so I wrote my first ebook. So yeah, this presentation is based on that. And at the end of the lecture, there'll be a QR code so that you can download it and be the very first people to read it. My mum hasn't even read it yet, so please enjoy it. When you download the book, you get a series of 7 emails that are triggered from the book, and each email is about a chapter, and in it we ask for feedback. So every chapter is a story about a stage within my career and what I learned, and I'd love to get feedback from you guys. So please reply to the emails and let us know what you thought, and if you learned anything or if you want to share your story with me, I'm going to read every single one. So yeah, that's that, and this is me. Hopefully you guys know a little bit about who I am, or you wouldn't be here, but maybe you're just here because you fancy to sit down and somewhere to sit and have your coffee. No, please do have your coffee. Feel free to come and go. My name's Dr. Manrina Rhode. I've been around for a while now. I sat on various boards. I was with the BACD and now I'm with the BAPD. I judge the awards. I'm editor of journals. I lecture a lot at these things. At the last London show, I lectured all day between the Keynote Theatre and the Aesthetic Dentistry Theatre, and today you'll see me a few times speaking today on various topics. I own my clinic. I think it's the most beautiful clinic in the world. I'm not biased. It is. You've seen it. It is, right? It's beautiful. And I run my academy. And within the academy, I want to help dentists with their own personal brand. I think we're in the era of the personal brand. I think personal brands are really important. And we'll talk about that. I help them with cosmetic dentistry. I don't think we're very supported in cosmetic dentistry in the UK, and I don't think the level of cosmetic dentistry is where it could be, and so I'd love to support dentists to get there. And I help with 5-star service, because again, I don't think we're necessarily there with service in the UK. Only 11% of practices in the UK are fully private. Not saying that you don't always get that service within the NHS, but I think you've got more limits placed on you within the NHS, which can make it harder. And so I'd like to be the example of what a 5-star service looks like, and I'd like to share that, and I'd like to give you guys ideas about how you can improve the quality of care for your patients. So this is me, and these are my 10 lessons. So if you don't want to sit with me for the next 40 minutes or so, you could just take a picture of this slide and just leave. Oh no, you're doing it!
I said I'm going to take a picture and sit.
Okay. You can also take a picture, post it on Instagram. I like to be posted and tagged and reposted. I'm Dr. Manrina Rhode on Instagram. So these are the lessons I'm going to go through. We're also going to film this and put it on our YouTube page. So if you do want to leave, you can leave and you can watch this back later at your own leisure. We're going to put it on our DRMR Academy YouTube page. So my brand is DRMR. It confuses everyone. Is it Derma? Is it Dr. Mister? Dr. Mister's the one that annoys me because then people think there's like a man involved. Sorry guys. This is definitely all me. It's Dr. Manrina Rhode. It's DRMR and it's my initials. And so we've got DRMR Academy, DRMR Clinic. So let's go through. The thing about dentistry is, let me start with a story. So when I was at school, I wanted to be an actress. And so, did you want to be an actress? You could be an actress, so beautiful. Yeah. I want to be an actress. You know, I wanted to do theatre studies at university. I wanted to become a famous actress. And so I was doing maths, history, and theatre studies for my A-levels. But I was in a grammar school, and my headmistress really cared. And so she pulled me aside, and she was like, Manrina, you know, you're very good at art, and good for you, but you're also very good at science. And did you know you can combine the two in dentistry? My initial thought was, ew, why would I be a dentist? That's disgusting. Isn't that saliva and blood and gross things? That's not really my vibe. But I'm also a very good girl, and I like to follow the rules. So I went and did work experience at a dental clinic. And I happened to shadow a very cool dentist. You know, he had a motorbike and a leather jacket. He's a good-looking guy. And then I thought, I could really see myself there. I think I could do what he's doing, and I can see myself in a career that this guy would choose to go in. So I went back to school, and I changed my A-levels to maths, chemistry, and biology, and I decided to go down a dental pathway. And how right that headmistress was about how much our profession is a combination of science and art. As a cosmetic dentist, all day I had patients saying to me, oh, Manrina, you're such an artist. Amazing. And I love that. It makes me feel really good. I think, wow, yeah, I'm really creative. But the reality of it is that within dentistry, we have these very clear parameters that we're not taught very well at dental school. But if we're passionate and we want to do dentistry that mimics nature, then we can spend time after we qualify to learn about smile design and learn about tooth morphology and really create beautiful pieces of art, the most minuscule micro pieces of art, right? If you're talking about a lower left 7, and then the occlusal anatomy and the fissures in the structure. And maybe no one will ever see it, maybe it'll only be us. But how nice does it feel for that artist within you to be able to create something on a daily basis and be really proud of it, that you're actually mimicking something that nature created. I mean, that's a real art form. So the first lesson number 1 is you don't have to choose between art and science or art and dentistry. Dentistry is an art in itself. Lesson number 2 is confidence comes after you start doing the work, not before you're doing it. Okay, I don't know if you guys are going to put your hands out, but I don't know how many of you guys have been on a course and learned how to do something and then never done it. I mean, I like to really think that I'm like this go-getter and I go for it and I do things. But one of the biggest stories, I think, in my life that really taught me something about myself was I did a whole year-long implant course with Noble Biocare in Cambridge. You know, that was a lot of effort. Yeah, I know, that face. I did it, you know, and then at the end of it, I placed a couple of implants, and then I just didn't. You know, I did that course maybe 16 years ago, and I placed a couple of implants. Now, why did that happen? Why did I not place them? I think I felt like I wasn't fully supported after doing the course. No one else in my practice, the other general dentists within the practice that I was working at, weren't placing implants. We had an implant guy that came in, I think he came in once a week or once a fortnight to place implants. I didn't feel that comfortable asking him my questions. And so I just didn't place them. I'm risk averse as a person. It took me 18 years to build my own practice. I worked as an associate for 18 years. That's how risk averse I am. You know, I like to keep things safe. And so, yeah, I didn't pursue that. I don't feel proud of it, but I don't mind the story either. I feel like I understand implants, I understand about bone levels and about osseous integration and what's needed for the implants, and it allows me to restore the implants that are placed in my cosmetic treatment plans. I let the implant guy place the actual implants, and that's okay by me. However, I think there's learning there. We don't need to be super confident in the work that we're doing as soon as we learn how to do it. You know, we come out of dental school not knowing very much about anything. We don't know about smile design. We don't know how to bond a veneer. We don't know how to prep a veneer. We don't know about clear aligners. We don't know about many, many things. We really only know the basics. And then it's up to us to upskill ourselves in a way that's comfortable. So, you know, and that upskilling can be anything from watching a YouTube video, probably not enough, doing an online course, better, start getting some more in-depth knowledge, going on an in-person course where you get to physically do something, and ideally go on a course where at the end of it, you have a support network. And I think that's another one of my my pillars, so I'll wait and I'll talk about that. But the point is that confidence comes once you start doing something, and I really understand that now. I understand that even if I don't feel confident doing a procedure, that doesn't mean that I can't do it. It just means that I need to find the mentors to support me. I know that that's what I was lacking. And then once I've got that in place, if I'm going to go on a course, if I'm going to learn a new facial aesthetic technique or whatever, I'm going to make sure that the person teaching me is, what happens afterwards? What happens if I've got a question about the procedure? Is there a WhatsApp group? Is there a Facebook group? Can I message you directly? Like, the person who taught it to me. Can I ask you my questions? And if they're like, yes, then I'm like, okay, let me go on the course. I'll be supported. And I'll take it into practice afterwards. Oh, this lesson. Guys, I only learned this lesson this year. I'm 47 years old. And I've been a dentist for 24 years. I've been a dentist for longer than I wasn't a dentist. And I've only learned this lesson this year. So please can I teach it all to you right now, that patients are not buying the treatment. Patients are buying the outcome. I think for the last 24 years, I was selling veneers. And I thought patients were coming to me to buy veneers. They weren't. They were coming to me to buy confidence talking on a stage. They were coming to me to have confidence in a Zoom call. They were coming to me to have confidence to start dating again after their divorce. They were coming to me for the outcome. I mean, a lot of those things were confidence, right? We could be like, they were coming to me to be able to show up fully in their life, in whichever part of their life they want to show up in. I'm a cosmetic dentist, so people come to me for confidence. You're a general dentist, maybe they come to you whatever, to be taken out of pain. They come to you to get rid of the mercury in their mouth, whatever. But the point is that no one's coming to us because they really want a tooth taken out. No one really wants a tooth taken out. They're coming to you because they've got pain from their wisdom tooth and they want to help. They want you to help them with that, or whatever the outcome is. So if we can start thinking about our patients and thinking about why they've come to see us, and if we can start talking to them about the outcomes rather than the treatment. If they're worried about having their wisdom tooth taken out, and you stop talking to them about this big scary procedure about taking the wisdom tooth out, but you talk to them about how comfortable they're going to be afterwards, and how I can't wait for you not to have to keep coming to see me with this pericoronitis, with this continued pain that you're getting from your wisdom tooth. That's what the outcome is. I can't wait to straighten your teeth for you and see what your pictures look like at your 40th birthday. It's your 40th birthday. Perfect for 40 is a hashtag at our practice, because so many of my patients are 39. Or they're 39 when they first come to see me, because that's when they come for their smile makeover. And so think about why they've come, what the outcome is, and talk to them about the outcome and not the treatment. If you talk to someone about a holiday, you talk to them about the holiday at the end of the journey. You don't talk to them about the plane journey to get them there. So that's a really big shift in my brain that I'd love to share with you guys today. Number 4, your personal brand is your referral system. People by people. We're really in the era of the personal brand, right? To understand what a personal brand is, let's think about a big company, something like Apple. Okay, so Apple's the company, the iPhone's the product, and Steve Jobs was the personal brand. We really want to like the people that we're associating with. There's so many options for us available for us. Richard Branson. I just got invited to Necker Island, by the way. How cool is that? Richard Branson invited me to Necker. So that was cool because I like Richard Branson. I like Virgin and I like their products. And I like Richard Branson and I want to go spend time with him at his house. So you've got your product, you've got your brand, and you've got your personal brand. Within dentistry, we've got our clinics, and whether you're a principal or you're an associate, I think it's very important to have a personal brand, and I think patients will come to you because of your personal brand. I can go online and I can bang on about DRMR Clinic as much as we like. We can put pictures. It's beautifully designed. It's award-winning. It's got lasers and it's got technology and it's got AI. Does it make patients want to come and see us? Probably. Some will come because they want to come to a beautiful clinic. But it's not as enticing as me showing up online as myself and being like, I'm Dr. Manrina Rhode. I've got years experience. I really care about your outcomes and I want to help you achieve them. And like, oh, I like her. She resonates with me. I like the way she talks. I like the way she looks. I like what her vibe is. You know what? I want to go to her for my cosmetic dentistry because I like her personal brand. A personal brand is so much stronger than a generic brand. And so every one of us in this day and age, to stand out from our competition, want to be creating a personal brand. Does that mean that you need to show up online? Does it mean you need to put your face online? Maybe it does. Maybe that's scary and it's not that much fun. But maybe it's something that we want to do if we're really serious about taking our profession forward. Say you don't want to put your face online. Say you don't want to, have a personal brand online. How about having a personal brand within your patients so that you can get those word of mouth referrals, right? Make sure that your patients understand who it is that you are, what's important to you. Make sure your patients get to know you so that your patients can refer you through word of mouth. As much effort as we put into our online presence, we put so much effort into our online presence. I have Freya here with me today. She's our full-time content creator who works with us 40 hours a week, creating our content for our online presence. Our online presence is important to us. And our clients fly in from all over the world because they find me online. ChatGPT recommends me. They find me on Copilot. They find me on Instagram. They find me online. They find me through Google, and then they come and they fly in and they come and see me, and they're already sold because they found me online. So my online presence does really well for me. However, when you look at the turnover of my practice and where the money is coming from, then the highest percentage of turnover still comes from word of mouth referrals. And so that's how important that is, right? That's why it's really important to provide that 5-star service and to make sure that whatever it is that you say you're providing, that you're actually providing. Now, it would be wrong of me when talking about personal brand to not mention, and I was just talking to Shaz Memon about it just now before I came on stage, that your personal brand should represent you, like whoever it is that you are. If you fly around on private jets and you drive Lamborghinis, do you have a Lamborghini? Then you can showcase it. I don't fly on private jets and I don't own a car, and so you won't see any of that on my Instagram. I do have a beautiful clinic and I have a beautiful home, and you might see little snippets of that. And I have some nice clothes. Some people like to spend their weekends walking through fields. I would love to spend my weekends walking through fields. I live in central London, I walk through Hyde Park. If that's what you like to do with your time, then I would suggest that is what you share with your online presence, building your personal brand. If you like spending time with your family, if you like cooking, whatever it is that you like to do, I'd like you to share that. Your personal brand doesn't need to be glamorous and exciting and holidays and fashion. Your personal brand can be whoever it is that you are. If you're kind of moody, you don't smile very much, and that's who you are, then go online and be that person. Speak to the camera as if you're speaking to one of your friends and say whatever it is that you want to say. I wouldn't say bring negativity online, I don't think it's there for that. But whatever it is you have to say, just say it in your own vibe. And the beauty of that is you will attract your own tribe. There's absolutely no point one of you creating these AI avatars. How cool are the AI avatars? Has anyone played with the AI avatars yet? I've been having a little look at them. You can put a photo in, put your voice in, and it will create a video like as if you've said it. It's pretty nuts. There's no point you guys taking one of my videos and putting your face on it. You could do it, and then everything I'm saying would suddenly be you. You could do it. But I don't know you, but there's probably differences between us. What you would end up doing by doing that is attracting the people that are attracted to my personality. And again, I'm assuming we've got different personalities. I don't know. You might be my brother from another mother. We'll have to have a chat and find out. What you want to do is show your own personality online. So when people come in, they don't feel like there wasn't transparency there or there wasn't an authenticity there. They feel like they trust you, which is so important as a dentist. They come in and they're like, you know what? Exactly that person that you showed me online, that you were when you were talking, I've come in and that's who I've just found. And I feel comfortable around you, so I'm going to come and see you. Comfort will be being impressive anytime. So just be who you are, be authentic, show up online if you feel comfortable to do that. And through that, there's really quite a lot to gain and quite a larger audience to reach. Undercharging. How much do we hate talking about money? I don't know. I don't feel like there's any dentist that really loves talking about money. You know, I love like being like having a lot of bravado around it and being like, yeah, I'll talk about my fees because you know I stand by my fees. I charge my prices for a reason, and so I'm okay about talking about them. I'm okay about talking about money, okay? I've been doing this for 24 years, and I've been working in private dentistry for 23 years of those 24 years at high-end luxury practices in London. You know, we opened the first clinic in Harvey Nichols, then we opened the first clinic in Harrods. I've had practices, I own a practice in Knightsbridge, and I've worked at Knightsbridge or in the West End my whole career. So I feel okay talking about money, but I definitely understand that thing inside my brain where I see myself do it, where I'm like, should I just discount it? Maybe I'll discount it and they'll just go ahead. And then I hear myself thinking it and I'm like, don't do that, Manrina, because there's no need to discount it because your prices are placed correctly and that's what the price is. And if they want to go ahead, they'll go ahead. We can get in price wars with each other if we want. I charge £4,500 for a dual arch Invisalign. Maybe you'll open up in Knightsbridge or in London and you're charging £4,000 for a dual arch in Invisalign, and then maybe you'll open up in London, and there are 280 dentists on Harley Street, let's not forget that, and you'll charge £3,000 for a dual arch Invisalign in London, and then I'll be like, oh God, well really, I really want your patients, so I'm going to charge $2,500. And now I'm using my whole lab bill and I'm not even covering my operating cost per surgery per day or operating cost per surgery per hour for my Invisalign. But you know what? I'm gonna take that hit because I'm gonna get all your patients, and I'm gonna get all your patients that are price shopping, not the ones that really want to see you. And I'm gonna do all their bonding and their whitening, and I'm gonna make money out of it anyway. We're kind of like just starting a downward spiral amongst each other, which doesn't make a lot of sense. And to be honest, if your patients are coming to me because I'm cheaper than you, I don't want them. You can keep them, because that's a personality type. That patient that's price shopping doesn't care about quality, it doesn't care about experience, it doesn't care about how you treat them. All it knows is Invisalign is Invisalign is Invisalign, and I'm gonna go to this cheapest provider. Great, you're doing it for $1,500, I'll take it. I don't want you. What I do want is patients that understand about my ethos. At my practice, we aim to be exceptional at every interaction. So we don't only want to meet your expectations, we want to exceed them. I want to exceed them with the person who answers the call. I want you to like come away from that call and be like, that was a really great conversation. I really like Rosie, she's great. Rosie's great, by the way. I want you to come into clinic, I want the door to be open, I want you to come into my patient lounge, I want you to be like, wow, this place is beautiful. I want you to ask us for a coffee, I want to offer you caramel, vanilla syrup, oat milk, soy milk, normal milk, lactose-free milk, like what is it that you want? And I want to make it for you so much so that you drink your coffee and you're like, that was a really great experience. Then I want you to come into my room, I want you to say, wow, Manrina, your surgery is really beautiful. My surgery is really beautiful. It's really beautiful, isn't it? You just came in this week. She's a beauty. Have a look at her online. I want you to be impressed with the consultation with me. I want you to be impressed with the follow-up protocol. And I want you to then understand what my pricing is. And I want you to come back to my TCO, we call them client coordinators, my CC. And I want you to say, you know what, you are $5,000, $10,000 more expensive than the other quotes that I've got. But I'm gonna go with you because I trust you. I feel comfortable in that process. And those are the patients that I want to attract. I don't want to see 50 patients in a day. I don't ever want to see more than 5 patients in a day. And my favorite day is when I see 1 patient in a day to do a full mouth smile makeover. Patient comes in, we have a chill day, I go into a flow state, everyone enjoys it. Sometimes we finish by 2 and I say, let's go home. I go home, I send my nurse home, everyone relax, we've done our work for today. And that's our favorite way to work. So don't get on this spiral. Oh, there's a great story there about flights. You have to read the ebook to hear that story, because if I don't move on, we won't get through all my 10 tips. There's a great story in my book about minimally invasive dentistry and about how that was introduced to the UK through my career, and how I started out as a dentist and how we used to do elective endo on people before we did a smile makeover, and we didn't do any pre-alignment orthodontics. I went on one of the first Invisalign courses in 2004. There really wasn't an option for dentists to do orthodontics before that, and so before that, it wasn't very minimally invasive, and there were things that came with that, right? There's like patients coming back with sensitivity, needing root canal treatment, having issues, and so minimally invasive dentistry is really the way forward. And the way that we manage patients in our practice is I always say that I want to do the minimum amount of treatment possible to get the maximum result. So if we can get your result with a bit of Invisalign and 4 veneers and Invisalign, a standard treatment plan in my practice is lower whitening, lower Invisalign, whitening, incisal bonding, and upper gum contouring and 10 veneers. It's a standard treatment plan that most people come for. They come to see me because they're looking for that. If I could get away with 4 veneers, I'll give it to them, and I'll give them the options. Even if they're coming to me and saying, let's do 20 veneers, let's do 20 veneers. If I'm like, I can do it with Invisalign in 3 months and a bit of whitening and bonding, no one can really see your lower teeth. Are you sure you want to do 20 veneers? You know, I have that conversation so often and try and talk them out of it, because for me, the minimum amount of treatment that they do, the better. Lesson number 7. Your network is your net worth. So we're not each other's competition. You might think we're each other's competition. We're not each other's competition. There's 280 dentists on Harley Street. They are not each other's competition. And if you do open up next door to me tomorrow, you're not my competition. You're welcome to. You're not my competition. Let's go for coffee and it's all good. You know, when I teach my courses, I can't tell you how many times dentists have said to me, they go around my practice, they take pictures of everything. And they say, I'm going to copy every single bit of DRMR and I'm going to remake this practice and I'm going to build it in Nottingham, I'm going to build it in Scotland, I'm going to build it wherever it is that they're going to build it. And I'm like, that's amazing. I can't wait to see it. When it's ready, please call me. I'd love to have a look. Because you guys aren't my competition. We've all got different vibes, we've got different outlooks. I've got my own personal brand, you've got your own personal brand, and they're not the same. We don't know, we might be the same, we need to find out. But assuming we've all got individuality here, then we're not each other's competition. So we should support each other, you know, we should help each other, and we should help each other grow, because there's space for all of us. If you join, there's different ways that we can network in our industry, and there's different ways that we can build up our confidence and our abilities because of it. So there's professional affiliations, right? You can join BACD, BAPD, BDA, you can join any of these organizations and you can feel like you're part of a club. You can go to their annual conferences, maybe you'll start meeting the same people again. Not that easy actually to make connections that way, but it's one thing that you can do to feel like you're part of something. You can get a little bit more involved with the association. You could join a committee, and then you're in a WhatsApp group with them. You kind of all start get to know each other a little bit. You're giving up your own free time to be part of something, but actually it's quite a valuable thing long term. My first job I got was Lundos, and that was amazing. And you can read about it in my book. The second job that I got through being on a committee with the BACD. The person who was the head of the committee knew that there was one of his friends had an opening available at a cosmetic dental clinic, and he knew that I was really capable because I'd impressed him in the committee. And so he said to him, you know, Manrina's young, but I was young then, put her forward. And I got that job. So, you know, jobs open up for you because people know you and people like you. And you can impress them. But please be impressive. How many people join committees? I mean, I've had people join committees and then they're just not impressive. I'm like, you're really not helping anyone because no one's ever going to hire you now. Now I know how lazy you are. Join boards. That's the next step of it. It's quite time consuming joining boards. I've sat on boards all through my career in the various associations. You don't get paid for it. You have to give your time. You have to listen to a lot of chat that can be irritating. I feel like sitting on boards taught me to learn my voice. You know, often I was surrounded by a lot of men, and I find that men can be more confident sometimes at expressing themselves. Sometimes as a woman, you're taught to not speak up. Sometimes we double check ourselves before speaking. Am I going to sound stupid? And I think as I've grown older, I don't worry about sounding stupid anymore. I've got strong opinions and I want to share them. And so I had to teach myself that, and I had to learn that when I was on a board and I saw people talking about something and I had an opinion about it and I was double checking myself, should I speak? To now just speak, Manrina, just say it. And don't just say it meekly, just say it. Just say whatever it is you've got to say, because your opinions are important. And so professional affiliations, That goes all the way from joining from joining the association to joining the board. Your personal black book, I mean, that should be specialists. You should have a periodontist, an orthodontist, an implant guy if you don't place them yourself. You should have your people that you like to work with, and if you don't, then find them. Ask for recommendations among your friends. Do you guys know a good blah, 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 if you're not already one yourself? And then call them and say, hey, I want to start referring my patients to you. Can we go for coffee? I'd like to meet you so I know who I'm referring my patients to, and create a relationship with them. They'll have patients that they'll send to you. You'll have patients that will send to them. I think we're quite insular in dentistry. We like to be quite isolated. I don't think we need to be, and I don't think we should be. I think we should build out our network and decide our people, our tribe of who we want to work with, and create a little book of them. And then I think that extends even outside of dentistry. You know, if there's a nail salon that you go to, make friends with your nail woman. You probably would have already done that. And tell her that you'd like referrals from her, and tell her you will refer to her. Do it with your hairdresser. Do it with outside of dentistry. If you're cosmetic dentistry, you know this is more about private dentistry. But with me, I've got affiliations with rhinoplasty surgeons, with hair transplant surgeons, with dermatologists. So anything that I don't do myself, I want to know the very best person that does it. And I want to know that when I refer my patients to them, that they're getting the same level of treatment that they expect from me, so I don't regret the referral. So create your little black book. Message these people, just like you would love people to refer to you, they'd love people to refer to them. They should meet you for a coffee, and you should create that relationship. If they don't meet you for a coffee, then don't refer to them. They don't deserve it, and so don't do it, and they're not going to look after your patients. And then obviously mentorship. You know, I've got my mentorship program. I'm not plugging it here. Why would I plug myself on a speech? But there are mentorship programs out there. And if there's something that you would like to improve about yourself, that someone else is doing better than you, then find that person who's doing it and go and learn from them, and they will fast track you. In this day and age, we don't need to sit and work things out for ourselves. There are people who have already done it. So why don't you get one-to-one access with them and ask them, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do you do that? Have you got a resource for this? Have you got a video about this? This is my situation. What would you do about this? And how about they just tell you rather than having to work it out yourself? And then you can fast track whatever it is you want to achieve. Lesson number 7. We've got 3 more, guys. We're doing okay for time. Chapters 8 and 9 are about transformation in systems. Chapter 8 talks about something that was transformative in practice for me. And I don't know if it was transformative because I've done it all through my career, but it's something that is really important in practice for me. And that is taking photos of all the cases that I work on. So taking before pictures and taking after pictures. Far too many dentists don't do that, and it takes time to learn how to do dental photography, and it takes time when you start out taking pictures of your patients, but it quickly becomes something that's quite quick in practice and something that's very valuable. Not only is it valuable for you to be able to measure yourself as a dentist and see how you're doing in practice, whether your work, look at your before and afters. My therapist came to say hi to me just before I started speaking. He's my dental therapist, not my therapist, my dental therapist who works at my practice. And I remember recently he did a bonding case. That was a good one, thanks. I said that to a patient once. I was like, you don't need me, you need the therapist. And she thought I was arguing with her saying she needed a therapist, but I meant orthotherapist. And then I had to correct. It was about to be this big thing. Yeah, therapist. He did some bonding recently, and he's really harsh on himself. He's very good at composite bonding. And he was like, oh, this is my case, what do you think? And he was like, I don't know if I should post it on social media. I don't know if it's good enough. And I was like, are you joking? This is really, really good. Why would you not think it's good enough? And he was like, but is the cant right, Manrina? Is the midline cant right? I was like, oh my God, Robbie, really, this is really good. This is really good work. So that's what our photos allow us to do, right? They allow us to critique ourselves. Let him be harsh on himself about his bonding, and he'll keep improving and getting better. But to be honest, he can also ask me, and I can see his work, and I can tell him it's already very good. So photography allows us to do that. It also allows us to get out of tricky situations with patients. I'll speak from my example. I'll do a full smile makeover, and now within my cosmetic dental consultation pro forma, we check for black triangles. And the reason we check for black triangles and we make a note of every single black triangle that someone has in their mouth is because I've been caught out before where I've done this beautiful smile makeover, I've corrected everything, I've aligned the teeth, I've fixed the color, the result is natural. No one will ever know that she has veneers in her mouth. but she will have the most beautiful smile in any room she goes in for the rest of her life. That's the smile that I've just created. And the patient comes back to me and says, this is great, Manrina, thank you. But what's this? There's a little black dot here in between my teeth. It looks like food stuck. What's that? It's a black triangle. You had so many black triangles before we started. Now you've got one tiny little black triangle. It's okay, anyway. If you've got your before, thanks for getting it. If you've got your before pictures, then you can pop them up on screen and you can show them the number of black triangles they had before you started and how this tiny black triangle they've got is not a very big deal. Also, you start adding these things to your consultation notes so that you've written it down at the beginning of the appointment and you've charged it through so that it's saved there and no one's going to change it. And also you start talking to your patients about it, because if you tell a patient something, then you're an expert. Oh, no one's ever pointed these little gaps out to me before. Yeah, I do have those. If they tell you about it, you're an idiot. So it's really important to inform patients beforehand, but also to have that photographic proof so you can go back and you can show them and they don't need to take your word for it. The other thing that's really important to me in practice is systems. My team will tell you, I'm all about lists and systems and tech. We have an app for everything. And one of the apps that we use is Trello. Really enjoy using Trello. So one example I'll give you is every team member in my team has a Trello board. And on there we have things to do, doing, and done. So if there's something that I think of at midnight when everyone else is asleep and I'm suddenly like, oh, Freya, the Vogue reel. We're in Vogue this week. I mean, we're in Vogue this week. How cool is that? I mean, that was cool. Second time in the last 6 months. Go on to Freya's Trello board. Freya, we haven't made a reel about the fact that we're in Vogue. Put it on her board, tag her in it, and put a date for when I want the reel to be made by. Then say I'm with patients tomorrow, and then suddenly at lunchtime I think, oh, did Freya see my message about the Vogue reel? Is she making it? I don't need to message Freya. I just go onto Trello and I have a look at my list and see if she's moved it from to do to doing. And if she has, I know she's seen it and she's in the middle of it. And if it's undone, then I'm messaging her saying, I know that it's on plan and I need to go and check it. So it makes it really easy for us to communicate. It means I'm not messaging my team at 1 a.m. And it also means I'm getting the things out of my brain. So even if I wake up in the middle of the night or I'm in the middle of doing something, but suddenly I think of something, I'm not harassing my team at intervals with the thoughts, the musings that go on in my brain with the 20 tabs I have open at all times. It means I can get them out of my brain, put them on Trello, and that's a real benefit for us as dentists who always have far too much going on. But it also means that my team can be very clear about where they are in the various tasks and they know to keep their Trello board updated. So systems are really important. You are only at the beginning. So wherever you are in your journey, you are only at the beginning. I'm only at the beginning of what I'm trying to do here. You know, I only think I'm at 10% of what I'm about to achieve. So I have my dream clinic, and I have my successful academy, and I have a successful online presence. And you could look at me and you could be like, oh, Manrina's really made it. She's got a super clinic in Knightsbridge, she's got a house in Knightsbridge, she's driven all the sports cars, she doesn't have a car anymore. But there's so much more that I want to do. So I'm right at the very beginning. And I would say to all of you, you all are. There's a real thing in dentistry, the 10-year itch. And I think all of us have it. I definitely had it. Kind of get 10 years into our career and suddenly we're like, oh, this is a bit boring. Am I going to do this for the rest of my life? And it's because a really important part of human nature is to learn, to continue growing, as much as it is to share and to teach. So that's why, you know, we really enjoy sharing. I really enjoy mentoring. I enjoy speaking and sharing what it is that I've learned so far. So have a think about where you are in your careers, what it is that you want to achieve, what will help you to get there to achieve that. Bring in new things into practice. Is it facial aesthetics? Is it clear aligners? Is it implants? Is it veneers? Is it veneers? Then come and learn them from me. I've got a course, Designing Smiles. What is it that you want to, is it cosmetic dentistry? Is it whatever it is, and whatever it is, bring it in and keep learning and keep doing it, because there's so much fun in developing and learning and keep going. This is my final slide that I know you've all been waiting for, guys. This is the book. This is my ebook. You will be the very first people to read it. And like I said, there's a series of emails that go out after. There's 7 emails. And in it, if you read chapters and if they're interesting to you, please reply, because it's an exciting time for me. It's the first time I've written anything like that. So, and it's the first little bit leading me towards this epic book that's going to be, one of the things that will be part of my legacy. And that concludes my talk for today, but it does leave us with a few minutes in case any of you have any questions.